Start.
All right, so welcome again, everyone, to the Urban Harvest Cooking and Preservation Workshop, where we learn recipes as well as tips and tricks on how to reduce food waste. So, live workshops run twice a month on alternating Wednesdays at 2 p.m. over Zoom. And in case you missed the session, we post the recording and recipe later on our YouTube channel and on our website. We encourage people to come join our live sessions so you can engage with our presenters and so that we can answer your questions live. Our session today will be led by two of our community leaders, Vidula and Malti. So they are the first community leaders who will present. Before we proceed, we would like us to acknowledge the land we are on. Black Creek Community Farm acknowledges that the sacred land in which we operate is situated upon the traditional territories of the Wendat, Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabeg, and the most recently the Mississaugas of the Credit. This territory is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, an agreement between the Anishinaabeg and Haudenosaunee Allied Nations to peacefully share and care for the lands around the Great Lakes. Black Creek Community Farm recognizes the many nations of indigenous people who recently live on this land, those who have spent time here, and the ancestors who have hunted and gathered on this land known as Turtle Island. Right now, I'd like to introduce our first presenter. Her name is Vidula Monga. She's originally from India. She has been volunteering with BCCF for the past 2 years as Urban Harvest community leader. This is the opportunity she has enjoyed most in her life in Canada. Her passion is to teach everyone to cook and eat healthy food in a practical way without spending a lot of money. Her education is in foods and nutrition, and her mission is to guide the community about healthy eating habits and cooking. So without further ado, let's welcome Vidula Monga.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a great day today. The weather's perfect. I'm Vidula Monga, and I did my education in nutrition, but I also love volunteering in the Black Creek Farm. It's the best place. It's therapeutic. I wish I could go there every day and not go to work. But so today we are going to learn about healthy cooking, which is also vegetarian, because being a vegetarian, you have to be careful about, especially about your protein. That's what people think. But I have learned that when you combine legumes with grains, you get perfect protein, just like meat or egg, but legumes and grains have to be eaten together. So today's recipe, I'm using oats as my grains and chickpea flour as my legumes. Oats, because it is also gluten-free. When you go to the stores and you buy gluten-free, it is super expensive. And oats don't have gluten. You can use them in any of the recipes. Now, today we are going to learn about veggie waffles, because it's super easy and fast to cook. So I'm going to use a waffle maker, but you can also use a pan if you don't have a waffle maker. Using waffle maker makes it easy because I can make waffles and keep feeding while I'm making fresh. For pan, I have to stand by the stove and make it like, it is not going to be as fast as waffle maker. So in my recipe, it is cheap. It is nutritionally balanced. It has lots of vegetables. Kids don't like vegetables, but I love to feed them vegetables in a camouflage. So my recipe has lots of vegetables, which kids maybe don't like, especially cabbage, which is not easy to feed, but it is in the recipe, so it is not very obvious in the taste, and it is very versatile. So I'm going to show you my ingredients. In the ingredients, I have about 3 cups of cabbage. Don't worry about the ingredients because you are going to get all this information on the website, and also you're going to get it by email. So about 3 cups of cabbage, some leftover zucchini. In this recipe, you can put whatever you feel like. I had some leftovers in the fridge, like 1 carrot, so I chopped it small. Some zucchini, like just one sitting zucchini, so I chopped it small. Some cabbage. It doesn't have to be exact the same thing. It's your choice. If you have leftover greens, if you have leftover cooked food, like curries or dal or stew or soup, whatever, you can put it in this recipe. It's very forgiving. And we love to eat onions. So I always make sure I have lots of onions in my food. Now for the cereal pulse or cereal legume combination, I have these oats, the rapid oats, the regular plain rapid oats, and I have chickpea flour. So oats are about 2.5 cups. Chickpea flour is about 1/2 cup. And then the seasonings can be your choice. I have plain salt and I use curry seasoning, but you can use any seasoning. You can use Italian seasonings. You can use Caribbean seasonings. You can make and mix and match and make your own seasonings, garlic powder, onion powder, any thyme, oregano, anything you like, you can put it in the waffle maker. It's very forgiving. As long as you have the combination of oats and chickpea flour. And then I have some yogurt. So this makes the dairy part of the triangle. Vegetables, grains, dairy. I turn on the waffle maker so it is warm enough while I'm preparing the batter. Now, first of all, I'm going to put in
Talking to her hand and she
a
did
part
not
of
wash it.
cabbage.
She's talking to her hand and she don't wash it.
Cabbage is, I guess, the best filler, lots of fiber. And then I have my zucchini. You just toss them all in. Now I need to rub in the salt so I get the juices going and reduce the vegetables. And you can eyeball, you have your own, put it in with your own taste. Some curry powder. We love curry, we're Indian. So Indian curry, synonymous, you can go. And then these are some chilies that I froze. I always save my food when it is cheap. So the chilies are from last summer. Whenever I get them cheap, whenever I have them growing, I wash them and freeze them. Now I have to mix in the spices so that the juices get going. Let me wash my hands. It is very versatile and you can make it dairy free also. So if you want to make it dairy free, you can put in any liquid like some soup, some even egg. When I make it for the Italian flavor, I usually put in an egg, 1 or 2, some extra egg white. Once you have the juices going, then you don't need a lot of liquid in it because vegetables itself have a lot of liquid. But because we are vegetarians and we don't eat eggs every day, so I like to make it with yogurt. It also adds a little tang to the waffles. Now, for the yogurt, you can use any yogurt you have. It can be fat-free, full fat, even sour cream, leftover sour cream, it can go in here. Sometimes we get the sour cream, can't use the whole thing. We have to throw the rest of it away. No, don't waste. That is what my motto is. So the yogurt, I put about a cup, just eyeball. If you think it might take more, you can put it in. And there's also no hard and fast rule about putting what in first or the second. You have to eventually mix up everything. It doesn't matter if it is going in first or second. Just make sure you put the salt in so that the juices of the vegetables start coming up. Now my chickpea flour, it's about 1/2 cup. I'm going to spread it evenly because this is the binder. So I want to make sure it is going to bind my vegetables. And see, you can see the reducing of the vegetables. They are kind of all going down. Now, the last is the oats. My daughter is not very, like, she's not exactly allergic to gluten, but she does not eat gluten very often because it gives her kind of discomfort. So this is the best we enjoy. It keeps you, it doesn't give you really a full feeling, but it keeps you full also. Like, I hope you understand. The thing is that it fills you up, but doesn't give you a heavy kind of full feeling. So now I see it is going to be, it should be about the consistency of a hard dough. Not runny. And the oats are going to take in the liquid. They keep absorbing the liquid, so this should be good. We usually buy a lot of vegetables because they give you a lot of fiber and vitamins and minerals, but it's hard to keep eating salads. This is like a cooked salad, along with the food grains and pulses like chickpeas. So it is always good to eat tons of vegetables which are in season. And especially the ones that are in season, you can save them. You can sun dry. Like I sun dry my tomatoes, the cherry tomatoes, I sun dry them in the car, like on a pizza tray, cut them half, put them in the car, especially in this hot summer sun, they get dried up really quick. So this is my batter that's good to go into the waffle maker. And just in case you don't have a waffle maker, today I'm going to put it on a pan too. Let's hope it comes out good. Now, because we are all grown up, we don't do a lot of exercise, so we don't want to eat a lot of fat. No fried food for us. So this waffle maker is going to make it really low fat. And one more thing about waffle maker, make sure when it is hot, that's when you put the batter in. If it is still not hot, the waffles will stick and then it's going to be a mess. So I'm just going to grease it with any oil or fat or butter if you like it. And I'll put the batter in. Don't worry if it is a bit crumbly because it is going to get together. I usually go a bit overboard with the vegetables and I hope I did not do it this time, but if I did, well, you know, you would know next time, put a little bit less vegetables. For me, vegetables should be the main bulk of food, and then comes the proteins and carbs and other food. So there you go, that's one. But what if I don't have a waffle maker? What do I do? Well, I have a pan here. So we can do the same thing, just the same batter. And we are going to grease the pan. But again, I'm going to wait till the pan gets really hot because this does not have white flour. It has chickpea flour, and chickpea flour does not like it to go on the cold surface. I have to heat it up and then put the batter on. So while we are waiting, we eat this waffle or a pancake. It is going to be a thick, fat pancake. So we eat it as snack. We can also eat it as a meal. It is a perfect meal. It has cereal, it has legumes, it has vegetables, it has dairy. So we have most of the food groups. And if we serve it with different dips, then it makes a perfect meal. You can use the dip even as ketchup. So I'm going to put the dips. And then one more thing. This is my mint chutney. So when the mint gets a lot growing and it is not, you can't use it for so many things, you make a chutney with it. It tastes really good. It has onion and tamarind, and you can even put lemon juice, salt, green chilies, and the chutney tastes amazing. So chutney goes with it, ketchup, even Greek yogurt goes with it. So we're going to make up a platter while our waffle is getting cooked. So I'm going, and then I have Greek yogurt, key lime Greek yogurt. It goes really well with the waffles. It's a really good thing, the waffles, if you're traveling, because traveling, you need some finger food and you don't want to buy the store-bought, not healthy meals. So you can take some yogurt, you can take any different kinds of ketchup dip. Now I'm going to put it in my pan to show that you can make it like a pancake also. Just spread it thick. And lower the heat so that it can get cooked through. Make sure you pat it down because you don't want it coming apart. It seems like it is going to come apart. I did cook too much vegetables, but it usually comes out. A thick, fat pancake. And let's go back to the waffle maker. And another thing about waffle maker, do not open the waffle maker unless you're really sure that waffles would be done. Because when it doesn't have white flour. White flour cooks really fast, but the chickpea flour and oats don't cook so fast. So you have to give it time. You have to give it like 3 to 5 minutes. So when we do the waffles, I do not open it right away. I just check a little bit. If they're not sticking, we are good to go. So the waffles are nice and golden in front, but not at the back. So we can, if I pull it out, it might get stuck at the base there. I'm going to leave it in there. So while we're waiting, Victoria, if you want to open up for questions or comments, because I don't think it's going to be ready still.
Yeah, sure. I think we had one question in the chat about what you used for the I'm trying to find it. The binding.
Yeah, the binding.
And I think it was yogurt and chickpea flour, right?
Flour. Yeah, chickpea flour makes the binding for the waffles because I want to keep it gluten-free. So I can't use white flour.
Okay.
I have two girls, like one is my daughter and one is her friend, who are like intolerant. They're not allergic to gluten, but it doesn't agree with them so well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I have to avoid that. Chickpea flour does not have gluten. So that's the bind.
And then the next question was where do you buy the chickpea flour from? There was the question of if you can buy it at the No Frills,
Yes.
or do you know where to buy it?
Most of these things are in Indian stores for sure. I buy them from Islington and Albion Indian stores, but they're also in No Frills. You can get them from. There's other flours also, like there's mung dal flour, there's black bean flour. You can use any of those legume flours. Soybean, you can use soybean flour also. They're all flour, so you don't have to use chickpea flour if it doesn't agree with you. You can use mung dal flour, any legume flour, like any lentil kind of legume flour, because the cereals are like rice, oats, all these filling grains that we have, wheat, rice, oats, all, and then the legumes are all the beans and chickpeas, pulses. So my waffle is done. See, it has gone down and it has kind of bound together. I can ease it out slowly and put it on my plate.
One last question, Vidula, is what kind of oats are you using?
Oh, these are the ones I'm using. I use the oats that are any kind. This time I got it from Walmart, Quick Rapid Oats, plain. Just regular quick oats. They are nothing special. But you can use choice. You can use organic, you can use, sometimes when I don't have quick oats, I even coffee grinder, I grind the rolled oats and use them.
Okay.
So my waffle is done. I take it out so that it won't get one it. Oops, don't fall. You don't have to put so much vegetables because putting too much vegetables makes it kind of too wobbly, and it smells like curry and caramelized onion and caramelized cabbage. It smells amazing. Do you have any more questions or comments?
I'm unmuting everyone. If you want to ask a question out loud, feel free.
I'm going to check with my pancake.
So Vidula, I have a question for you, and maybe because sometimes the chickpea flour may not come in a small package. One time we bought it in a bigger package, and I forgot about it, and so I end up with a big package. So if ever they buy like these big packages of lentil flour, chickpea flour, do you have any other suggestion for any recipes that they can make out of it?
Sure. The chickpea flour you can use as thickening in the curries. So we have some special curries that we make only with chickpea flour. And then you can also use chickpea flour for fritters. Fritters come out nice and crisp, vegetable fritters with your special seasonings, whatever you want. And then you make a chickpea flour, you dip those vegetables in it, and you can fry them. The fritters are really good. They're called pakoras in India, or bhajia, and they're very, very yummy. They're much better and healthier, I would say, from the regular white flour fritters. The white flour fritters, white flour actually is just carbs. It's not giving you any, even a little part of protein. It's mostly carbs. So chickpea flour can take the place of white flour. And then again, if you have lots left, you can keep it in the fridge. It'll last for a year. It doesn't go bad.
Amazing. Does anyone else want to ask a question? Out loud?
Cornelia had a comment that she had doubts that the waffle would stay together, but you made it. So congratulations.
Yeah, I did go a little overboard with the vegetables. In the recipe, it does say 4 cups, but my cabbage was about 3 cups, and then a cup of zucchini and a cup of carrots. I wanted to put everything in because that's what the leftovers are for. So yeah, they come out
Amazing.
good. And the more vegetables you put in, the softer it stays.
Mm.
So if I have to take it for traveling, I do put in a lot of vegetables in it. It stays softer, it doesn't get hard at all. So that's what it is. Yeah, and the pancake one did break a little bit, like it fell apart a little bit, but the middle part was fine. So yeah, you just put in a little bit extra chickpea flour or put less vegetables.
Yeah. So this is amazing. This is a great way to use a lot of like leftover vegetables, like kind of like hodgepodge, but everything comes together in the end. So I think a lot of people open their fridge and it's like, what to cook? But then this is a very good recipe that they can use. So thank you so much. It's good for a picnic. It's good for the kids to get involved in because it's a very hands-on recipe. So I'm gonna have to try this with my son.
Do you think we can add eggs in the recipe?
You can add eggs and cheese. That's what I do for the pizza recipe. I put in eggs and cheese, and also the pizza seasoning, sun-dried tomatoes, even zucchini. Put in more zucchini because that's what the pizza is. And you can also put in your own choice of if you want some meats or something, but I've never tried it, so I won't say. They will be fine if you're able to put and cook them in, or maybe put in cooked meat, but cheese and eggs go really well in the waffles.
And what kind of yogurt do you use? It's okay to use kefir, or it has to be yogurt?
No, it can be, kefir is also good. It will be okay, but it will be not fair for kefir because kefir, the good bacteria in kefir will die with the meat that you put in for waffles. So if you want to have the good benefit, then you drink the kefir as it is, but yes, you can put in kefir too.
This recipe looks so delicious. I'm just looking at my pantry right now. I just wanted to know, can you use coconut flour?
It won't bind. As long as you have some kind of binder, yes, you can use coconut flour. But then coconut flour, remember when I said protein balance has to have some cereal and grain. But if you're avoiding cereals, if you're avoiding the carbs from these cereals, then yes, you can use coconut flour. Just that you won't be getting complete protein. And the binder has to be there. So it has to be some kind of chickpea flour or any grain flour, some flour, or maybe eggs if you want. Yes, so coconut flour and eggs will go perfectly well together.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for all these tips and tricks, Vidula. If you have any more questions, we have some more time like later, but maybe we'll move on to our next presenter. But before that, I want to acknowledge Deepak, who is Vidula's husband. He's been helping hold the camera for Vidula to do her presentation today. So kudos to both of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And he's going to get this first set of waffles to eat.
Yay! Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. It was really fun. Thank you.
Thanks, Vidula.
Thank you, Vidula. Amazing.
Thank
We'll
you.
try it.
So now I would like to introduce our second presenter. So her name is Malti, and she's one of our very active seniors at Black Creek Community Farm, and she's been volunteering at the farm for the last 8 years. At the farm, she has learned the arts of planting, potting, and repotting, and she participates in the cooking and preservation workshops where she has met many new friends. She enjoys the planting and gardening and says that what they plant is shared among themselves, the volunteers, and the community, and is also used for the workshops. So let's welcome Malti.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Malti. And as Mildred was saying, I've been volunteering at the farm for the last 8 years, which I love. I also volunteer in the community and in my building. I love learning new skills, and at the farm, I learn a lot. I learn preservation, I learn dehydration, and I learn using the imperfect fruits and vegetables for making jams and jellies. We even do pickles and a lot more. At the farm, we plant, it grows, we reap, we share, we cook, we preserve, we use for compost, and we use for many other things. There, as you said, I met a lot of new people from different backgrounds. We all made friends. So to be truthful, I really missed it this year. I miss our little group. So here, what I'm going to show you, it's a simple, very nutritious meal. You will have it finished in less than 25 minutes from prepping to on the table. So let's begin.
And Malti, I put up on the screen what you're making today.
Yes.
Do you just want to introduce it and the ingredients?
Okay, so what I'm making today is quinoa Chinese styles. And the quinoa is a small, tiny little grain, comes in the pack, and it's the first time I'm using this quinoa. This is grown in Canada, so we're using local. So let's go local. So I use quinoa, mixed vegetables. In the mixed vegetables, you can use whatever vegetables you have available. I use broccoli and zucchini and frozen mixed vegetables, onion, garlic, ginger, oil, sesame sauce, 1 egg, salt and pepper to taste, and the optional is the sesame oil to give it the Chinese flavor. So what you do, you boil the quinoa. Now the quinoa, if you overboil it, it wouldn't be perfect to make this dish. You can boil it a little more if you're making like salad. Quinoa can be used in anything. You make salad, you make bread, you do it. I do my own recipes. I combine my own recipes. So you can make cookies, you can make anything with your quinoa. So you boil your quinoa, you have your vegetables and everything cut up, your ginger, your garlic, and you have everything there. So as I say, it's not going to take long to make. And what I use is the mushroom soy sauce. It is more thick, and I use the saltless soy sauce. So it is much more thicker and you use less. And the salt and pepper, as I said, it goes to your taste.
And
Okay.
there's one quick question. Is the quinoa, is it whole seed or grinded?
No, it's the whole, I'll show you what it looked like, the whole seed. It's a tiny little grain, a little bigger than a mustard seed. This is it.
Perfect.
It is tiny, you see? Just a little bigger than a mustard seed.
Okay. So you're ready to, we'll start the presentation now, right?
This one, as I say, is the locally grown one, but what I used before was the one that we get from Peru.
Okay.
This
Okay.
one is a bit cheaper.
I'm gonna start the your introduction of the ingredients.
Okay.
Okay.
Today I am making quinoa Chinese style. So I have here the quinoa which is already boiled. I have mixed vegetables previously frozen. I have some fresh broccoli and some fresh zucchini. I have 1 beaten egg, and in this I have 2 grains of garlic crushed, 1-inch piece of ginger crushed, and some chopped onions. And this is for my garnishing.
We pre-recorded Malti's video just because it was easier so she could show the kitchen and everything in the video.
So I turned the stove on medium. The pot is a bit hot, so I'm going to throw 1 tablespoon of oil. And I'm just going to coat the pot with the oil. Okay. Okay, so the oil heating up. I'll throw the ginger first. And let's fry the ginger for about a minute or so. Just to infuse the flavor of the ginger. So I'm going to throw now the garlic and the onion together. And we're just going to fry up this. And it's smelling really, really nice. The vegetables in here, okay? So as we're frying the onion, the garlic, and the ginger in here. And believe me, it's smelling nice. So I'm going to throw now the vegetables. And I fry the vegetables. So all the vegetables are in the pot. And I'll fry it up for about 3 to 4 minutes. So here you have the vegetables. Now I'm just putting the vegetables aside and I'm going to cook the egg in the same pot. So just let the egg cook. Just break up the eggs in small pieces, and I'm going to mix everything together now. So the oil is mixing there, and now I'm going to throw the quinoa in. So here the quinoa goes in. And the soy sauce. I'm going to put some salt. Some black pepper. As I say, salt and pepper to your taste. So we just stir everything together. And if you're doing Chinese, you have to put the sesame oil, otherwise you wouldn't get the Chinese flavor. So a little dash of sesame oil in it, and that will bring out the Chinese flavor. Then take it over. Okay, and there you have it now. It's finished. Turn off the stove. And we just put a bit of garnishing on top of it.
And now you can see the final product. Can you speak to that, Malti?
Yes, that is the finished product. It's ready to eat. If you want, you can eat it just like that because it have all the protein. It have no carbs, fiber, no carbohydrates, potassium, iron, everything in it. As I say, the quinoa grain is the only food on the planet that has all the nutrients your body need. So there you have it. There you can, if you want fish with it or you want chicken with it or whatever, but I will have that just as it is because the egg is protein, the vegetables and everything has everything in it. So there you have a perfect meal. I see Cornelia was asking some question.
Yep.
Yes, I was asking if you can use something else other than quinoa or rice.
You can use couscous and you can use rice, but I never tried the barley or anything else because I don't like barley. So you can do it with rice, you can use the couscous.
Have you tried it with bulgur, the cracked wheat?
I don't like those wheats.
Okay.
What is that, Mildred?
Bulgur.
What is that?
It's cracked wheat. It's like, yeah, go ahead, Malti.
It is very, very hard. I never cooked it, but I got it and I give it away.
How do you spell that?
Bulgur. Yeah, and sometimes they put it in the tabule. So I know, yes, Malti mentioned it is hard. It's actually like it's like steamed wheat. If you're familiar with like parboiled rice, they're kind of like already like steamed so that they get back their nutrients more. So anyway, the way to do it in the tabule is I soak it with the marinade that goes with the tabule so that it's not hard. So I think I might experiment with the bulgur wheat if I don't have like quinoa. So I think that's an alternative.
Yeah, the bulgur is easy to cook. It's very easy.
How do you do it, Celia?
I make it sometime into like rice form, and I also make a porridge with it. So I will cook it just in the water to start. If I'm making a porridge, I'll put cinnamon and stuff like that in it, and then cook it down. And to put the flour, to bring it together, I use some flour.
The one way I thought about using it, I said I will grind it and use it in, you know, like making bread or something with it. But I didn't get around doing it.
They have the grind one. They have the very
You have to grind one?
very fine grind one. You can get it in the bulk store.
Does
But
anyone have any?
quinoa, because as I say, it is so nutritious. So that's why I chose the quinoa. And I like the quinoa. And I've been using it for years.
Yeah, and it's good to point out that you said they grow it here in Canada, which I did not know.
I didn't know that neither.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I first bought it, I bought it in a box. You know, and then I started getting in packages. But it was like from Peru. And when I got this one, and I look at it and it is Canadian grown.
Right, so there's less carbon footprint and yeah.
You're right, you use local.
That's right. Yeah. Anybody
Does anyone
else's
have
question?
questions?
Yes, where can I buy the soy sauce? She said saltless
Any one
soy
of the
sauce.
Chinese supermarket.
Okay, not in
Anyone.
regular.
No, I think no Philson didn't carry it, you know. All the stores carrying it.
Okay. Thank
Do you have the soy sauce right now? Can you show us the so maybe we can see how it looks like?
I have bought soy sauce at No Frills, and they have, you know, sometimes different brands, like the No Name brand, or one that I've got called, I think it's Kiko Man. I'm probably pronouncing wrong, but I've got it for sure at No Frills or lots of stores.
I think the question was where can
one
she
I
buy saltless?
Saltless.
Oh, okay.
Where you buy what?
Saltless soy sauce. I think I heard you
Oh,
say
you can get it in the
saltless.
grocery store.
Okay.
You can get it in the grocery store, but I use the mushroom flavored. No, they have this one, but this one is very light.
Okay.
So this one, as you see, it's much more thicker, so you use less.
But it's not saltless, right?
Is it saltless?
I mean, I don't think it matters because you just don't add
This is
salt.
Pearl Brand. This is Pearl Brand.
Okay.
This one is the soy sauce.
The regular, like Kiko Man.
Yeah, I don't like it. I use this one.
Thank you.
Anybody else who wants to have a comment, and anybody else who wants
And
to add?
The sesame oil, you see, and I looked for it and I got it 50% off. So this is the sesame oil.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I have sesame oil, but how long does it last? Because there's a weird smell. I don't know if it is a sesame oil smell or
That's it. It smells like that. Yeah. Yeah.
that's the smell of the oil. Like it has.
They don't have an expiration date on it.
Oh, okay. That's good to
Don't have
know.
an expiration date on it, so I keep it.
Oh yeah, that's good because it's been sitting in my closet for like 8 months. I hardly sometimes use it, but it's not being used very often. So I was thinking maybe because it's smelling weird, it might have expired. If it doesn't,
That's you know, like a high smell.
Yeah.
So it's good.
It's no, I can keep it. I don't, so I can keep it.
I keep it nice and make it long. Like as you make the waffle there, you can make the dip with the ketchup, some soy sauce, some sesame oil, and a little black pepper and garlic, and you have a dip too.
Yeah, I'll have the Chinese flavored waffle.
When I make the pakora with the cauliflower, make a ketchup dip.
Ooh, yes.
I make a ketchup dip.
Yeah. Dips can be made with anything. Anything. Just this plain yogurt, you can make a dip out of it. Yeah.
Then I have a time. I'll show you a time.
We all have our little tricks and tips. Yeah. Right now in the car, I have fenugreek drying out, the fenugreek leaves. Not right now, but it was day before yesterday when it was very hot.
Look at time. See, you should notice time.
Whoa, you got fresh thyme.
Yes, I cut the pieces and they go in the bottle. But
Yeah.
I had it above the window and I cut it out and I gave it away. And I went across to the Chinese in the little plant section and they had the plant for a little piece for $8.
Oh.
Lebanese use this a lot. They dry it and they put it in their food.
That's
that looks like a different kind of thyme. Is this the one with the like
it's
succulent
very
leaves?
It has a nice mint smell and flavor.
Oh,
So
wow.
I put it in the bottle, but otherwise the leaves are very big.
Yeah. Yeah, so all these leafy things, you can dry them and save them. I know somebody who used to dry spinach and rapini, and then when they were not in season, they would just soak them in water and then rehydrate them and use them in their cooking. So you can preserve a lot of food by drying. If you don't have the freezer space, drying is the best.
That's in the army camp. When my granddaughter was in the cadets, the army cadets, Grandma, we have to eat dehydrated food when we go on FTX.
Yeah. So what is better, the dehydration or the in the freezer to keep it fresh in the freezer?
If it is, what I have learned is it does lose a lot of vitamins when it is dehydrated. So the shelf life of freezer foods are less, but they're healthier. But the dehydrated food, you can use it for a bit longer time, like maybe as long as they're kept properly sealed, vacuumed, they stay good for a long time, but they have lost their vitamins. That's what I personally, I might be not very accurate, but that's what I've learned.
I think I like it, like what you're saying too, because when I check with, like even the smell of the dehydrated one does not have that same flavor. It does not have that same minty smell. It doesn't have the same smell like if I dry it, like I dry all the herbs. And my son would give me some, the dehydrated one doesn't have any smell. But when I dry it myself on my table, then the aroma that you get from it is totally different from when it's dehydrated. So I tend to like when I dry it by myself. Yeah.
I have some now. I have some fine thyme that I wash and I dry in it.
Malti, can you put it a bit higher because it's we can, yeah, that's dry.
When it's dried, this is when it's dry, I will put it in a bottle. Now what you can do, if you put it in a bottle and you sprinkle it and you don't want the little leaves to show, you can grind it. So make it in a powder form. So then you're not seeing anything, but you just getting the flavor. So I dry a lot of herbs. A lot of
herbs.
Even the mint, I have dry mint.
That was dried thyme, right?
And yes. And the ginger I freeze ginger. I used to buy it and it stay in the fridge and it kind of dry rot. And I saw my friend freezing it and okay. So I put I cut it, wash it, cut it in pieces, and I put in the freezer.
You can even grate it and put it in the ice cubes. Like
I prefer cut it, yeah.
Yeah, it's your choice.
And I put it there. Sometimes if I don't want anything, I just grate it and I use it like that.